What's up, guys? FSC Speed Shop. Just left FSC HQ over here in Freedom, Wisconsin. Threw the flywheel in the back, or rather what's left of it, along with the clutch. Get ready to head up to Green Bay, get a reman flywheel, and then head down all the way to Badger Rebuild, get the transmission picked up, get a new clutch for it, oil, and that U-joint that I'll be needing. I'm not sure exactly, but from what I'm seeing as I take this truck apart, considering we had a non-Caterpillar rebuild done prior to me buying the truck 20 some years ago, that ultimately those O-rings failed, and now a decent clutch, meaning it had decent material remaining on the paddles. Springs were broken and they were chewed into the flywheel pretty good, and it looks like the flywheel was never turned the last time it was ran. It simply was just they put a new clutch in and called it a day, knowing they needed a flywheel. So I'm starting to think that the last bit of the truck's life before I had it, when the previous owner was running it, he must have been struggling hard for money, because I'm starting to see repairs that were not done properly, or rather just repairs that were done good enough to get by, but not good enough to last a long length of time, unlike what I'm trying to do now, which is why I didn't just go down to Harai Bar and get a used transmission and leave the clutch in and all of that. Also, I have to get a tool for the rear main seal installation along with the rear main seal, because we're going to change the rear main seal since we have it apart. The flywheel's out. You may as well change that seal. I mean, that seal is very old, at least 20 years old. I have the front seal installation tool. I will give you guys a heads up on front and rear seals on these Caterpillars. They look identical. There is a one part number difference and an arrow that points to the direction of rotation. If you do not do it properly, if you do not put the right seal in the right spot, the seal is made so the rotation of the crank actually pushes the oil into the engine. If you put the wrong one in, the wrong side, it'll actually try to push the oil out of the engine. So if you put the wrong seal in the wrong spot, not only will you not solve the leak, you'll create the next leak. It might be worse than the original you tried to fix. So always remember, guys, check your part numbers on those front and rear seals on them Caterpillars. Alright, with that, let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? Steve here. Got good news for you guys. Merch, new and improved merch finally came in. Unfortunately, we don't have Orwell shirts yet. We're in the process of getting the artwork done on Orwell shirts, but those are coming soon, trust me on that. But for now, the new improved OG shop shirts are here, along with pinup girl shirts. Let me show you. Right here is the shirt available for you. This is the front side of the shirt right here. Just like the old style, brand new. Look how crispy that white is on that nice black shirt. We have everything from small all the way to probably 4 or 5 XL. There's not quite so many of them. I know some of the guys that watch the channel are pretty big boys. Of course, on the back of the shirt, big old FSC Speed Shop logo on the back, Freedom, Wisconsin. Big old shirt. This one is mine right here. So that's what we got for you guys in black. Coming soon, we're gonna have also some high-vis colors for you guys that work at the ports where you have to wear, your little protective safety vest. This way we got the right colors for you. Don't have to worry about the stupid vest. Also, Jen also made me get some with the black logo on some great t-shirts. So that's what we got coming up. Also for you guys, we also have pinup girl shirts. This is different from the last run. We are never making the last run again. So what we have here is the pinup girl, except what we've done is we've simply removed the phone number because too many people call me to just say hi. And we also have the logo removed. Why do we remove the logo? Big logo in the back. Also, guys, these shirts are made of a little bit of a different material. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is a much softer shirt than you see. I don't know how to translate that on camera for you guys. You guys have to take my word for it. So as of the time you guys see this video, pinup girl shirts are up, along with OG shop shirts. So with that, where do you get them at? FSCSpeedShop.com. That's right, you see it down below right here, FSCSpeedShop.com. That's where you get my merch. We do have a couple of Cream Machine shirts still available. Once they're gone, they're gone. With that, thank you. Back to the video. Alright, boys and girls, we're just arriving over here at Badger. We'll pick up our transmission. Alrighty guys, just paid the bill. I'll go over here and load up the transmission, all ready to go. Got a couple extra parts to go with it, also had to get a clutch. So with the new Flywheel, we actually could afford, hang on. I imagine that looks stupid on camera trying to open up the truck. With the new Flywheel, we can actually afford a bigger clutch. It's got a 10-inch opening to it, so we got a bigger hub. So it'll be good to go there. Pull it around back, load it up. Boy, that looks a lot nicer the way it was I dropped it off. Yeah, reach her in there as far as you can, please. Beauteous. That's good.
What am I hitting?
The tire. Your pallet's right on the tire, so you're good. Sweet. Clutch, a pilot bearing, and a U-joint.
The one that went into training?
Yep, same one. Synthetic power shift transmission fluid, SAE 50. AMSOIL.
I did not hear it. I don't know what all I want to do.
And my U-joint, oil, clutch, trans, ready to go. What's up guys, Steve here. You guys know Orwell lost his transmission and we had to go have it rebuilt. So I brought her down to Badger Truck Center Rebuild Division. There we go. That's only like the third time I had to try that. Badger Truck Center Rebuild Division. All right, so we're down here in Milwaukee, or a burb of Milwaukee. Brookfield. And I got Ron Jr. right here. Ron Jr. is the man I've been dealing with the whole rebuild process as far as bringing this old antique down, having them put it back together, and it's looking beautiful, ready to go. One of the biggest reasons I brought Orwell's transmission here to be rebuilt rather than just do the slopperoo somewhere else in town, I have had you guys do other work for me in the past. Back when I had my 379, you guys rebuilt the transmission for me back in then. That was an 18-speed. You guys rebuilt the transmission for me back in the day. That was an 18-speed. Also, you guys have done drive shafts for me. Also, a rear end for that 79 Peterbilt. Who made that SQHD transmission?
That was a Rockwell.
That was Rockwell.
Yep,
That's in that yellow 352 we did. I broke the power divider, and these guys made it good. In fact, when that truck was built to be a 3-axle tractor where she's got a tandem in the back, you guys built them originally way back when, before I had bought the truck, and consequently broke the power divider.
Going back a ways.
Oh yeah. You guys put a nice little stamp in the back for us who rebuilt it and when.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, not only that, but also the mechanic that was the one that put her together.
Yeah.
So you guys do more than just transmissions. You can talk about what all you guys do.
Well, from basically the transmission back, the all the drivetrain, the end yokes, drive shafts, full line of clutches, flywheels, power takeoffs, and of course, differentials. But our main thing is, we do a lot of the service work as far as checking driveline angles and various other vibration issues, drivetrain issues people might run across. Our guy's pretty good at diagnosing everything, actually real good. And Dan's the guy you're dealing with, so he does a real good job there. So
yeah, he was saying when it came to my transmission was new when he started working here. This was still modern technology.
This was modern
back in them days. And you guys still managed to rebuild my transmission.
This one was tough to source parts for. We, of course, bought the last bearing kit in the entire U.S. for the next one after this one. So, yeah, it'll be, there won't be any bearing kits left after that for a while. So
tough, but not impossible.
Not impossible.
In fact, if you want to talk about it, there's a white 362 that's like an early 90s truck.
Sure.
That you guys are modernizing, changing the transmission to be a different transmission, along with a different set of rear axles as well.
So we're upgrading that one from a 10-speed to a 13-speed, and then changing the ratio to a 342 ratio. So
what was that? Do you remember?
It was I believe a 390.
Okay.
So that'll improve his RPMs on the highway with fuel prices going up. That's it'll be a big
so you guys with older equipment like myself, if you're going to upgrade to a different transmission, different set of rear axles, let's say you have a transmission you cannot get a rebuild kit for, or if you just simply want to upgrade, these are the guys to see right here.
You got it. We appreciate all the business here, Steve.
Awesome. All right, brother, I appreciate the help. Thank you very much.
Anytime. You guys got any questions or need anything, just let me know.
Yeah, what number's the call?
262-754-4370.
Whether you want to ask for Ron Jr.,
or Steve.
Ron Sr.
Yep.
All righty. Awesome, guys.
And we all sound the same, so.
There you go. Badger Truck Center Rebuild Division, or simply as I just call Badger Truck Rebuild. Look her up on Google. He's right here in the Brookfield suburb of Milwaukee. Good people, good, great service. I've been dealing with these guys for years. Awesome.
Agree, Steve.
Beautiful. Thank you much.
All right, anytime.
All right, guys, got that handled, good to go. Feel much better now. Got the transmission strapped down nice, got the new clutch sitting in the back. Went from an 8 to a 10-inch hub. That's always a plus. Not like I do a lot of extra heavy work, but Orwell's been known to do some heavy work from time to time. So it's an upgrade also. So there we go. That worked out awesome. The other flywheel wound up being no good. I'm surprised it was turned down as much as it was, and was basically gone. There was nothing left. There wasn't any surface area left to turn on it. Trying to film Badger's paid spot. The low setting sun, got trains and everything else going on. That was interesting to say the least. Oh, we got her done. That made me feel good. So yeah, the flywheel, the old flywheel, was not reusable any longer. I'm surprised. I figured with the original transmission, around 1 million miles, maybe a little bit more-ish, the transmission, I figured probably maybe 1 or 2 clutches, but that thing was, the flywheel was gone. It wasn't enough to turn on it. So I had to get a reman flywheel from Caterpillar. Could have got a brand new one. That was like 1,100 bucks. Reman was like 6 something, and it was a little different. It was updated from the old style that came with the truck originally, apparently, and which is a good thing because that enabled me to go from an 8-inch hub to a 10-inch hub on my clutch, which was actually quite surprising. But Caterpillar assured me that that flywheel was the updated one that goes with that 3406B, because we did run it off the engine serial number, so we know we're good there. We don't have to worry about there being a difference in the flywheel. So we'll talk about it a little bit. Why did I go to Badger and not anywhere else they could do the swap out in like literally a day's notice? Well, the answer's simple. I've had Badger do some work on my truck in the past. They've done a transmission for it, the 379 Peterbilt I had. They also did a rear drive shaft that I broke a yoke on one time, and they replaced that for me. Or actually made me a whole new drive shaft. the short shaft between the two differentials had broke. So they did that for me once. And what else did they do? And in that 79 Peterbilt, that 352, they fixed the power divider on that. Now that was another interesting thing, because what I'll show you guys later is on the side of this transmission is an ID tag that shows where it was rebuilt and the mechanic that rebuilt it, like his number, along with the date of the transmission's rebuilt. So when I brought him that Rockwell SQHD, that's the model number, SQHD of that truck's forward drive, I was quite surprised when I brought it to Badger to fix it that they said not only was this differential rebuilt by them, but the guy that did the work knew the mechanic who put that differential together, God knows, way back, who knows when. Now that truck has a weird pedigree. No one knows where that differential came from or what it was assembled on originally, because that tractor originally was a single axle tractor and somebody welded a dual axle tractor rear frame cutoff on it. So that may not even have been a Peterbilt when that was built, but either way it works, so we fixed it. But that's Badger. But that's the stuff that I expect out of Badger over here. So since they've done me so solid in the past, even if I had to wait for my transmission to be rebuilt, to me it's worth it. And with future builds that I have, or future ideas that I have coming hopefully soon to the channel, I'm gonna need them again. Orwell's rear ends are questionable unknown. Probably never been done. I would assume I'm gonna have to have a set of rear ends done. I might upgrade that, I'm not sure. And along with other trucks, and you guys see how my mentality rides with, if my trucks fail on a road, I'd rather tow them home and handle it myself, or I can control the costs and make better deals and, you know, control the cost, meaning I can know that I'm getting a good deal rather than more money on the road and not being able to cover any warranty work that may ever come up. Because think about it, if you have Peterbilt, think about it, if you have some shop somewhere way out, who knows where, let's say Ohio for this example. Now I'm sure they got fine shops out there, but if I had one of those shops rebuild my transmission and later on I have a problem, well, what am I gonna do when I'm out in Montana? They're just gonna say, well, bring it back, we'll work with you. Well, that's gonna cost me more money than the fix will. So why bother with that? I'd rather locally source stuff at shops reasonably close to me. And since I already had a working relationship with Badger, it was certainly worth the time for me to bring Orwell back, pull the trans myself, and have Badger go ahead and upgrade or redo or whatever need be. In this case, rebuild the transmission I had. Now, there were some issues with getting some parts, but they were able to get parts. Ron made the joke, you might have the last, Ron made the joke, said you have the last bearing kit on planet Earth for that transmission. However, they have another identical transmission they're rebuilding for somebody else, and they're going to have to find a bunch of bearings for him too. So I'm willing to bet you they'll be able to get him a transmission. I'm willing to bet you they'll be able to get him a bearing kit just like they got me. So they'll put their nose to the grindstone and find you parts. If you need parts that are not real, if you need parts that are not the easiest thing to find, believe me, they'll find them for you. That looks a lot nicer than the way it was I dropped it off. Yeah, reach her in there as far as you can, please. Beauteous. That's good.